has an intervention of some kind, whether it's math or reading or being pushed if they're on ALP to be challenged a little bit more. But that happens every day, Monday through Friday, and all of our interventionists and all of our teachers and all of our paras are hands-on for that. Latin is also something that we're putting a lot of attention on. 90% of the English two-syllable words have a Latin root. And so we find that understanding Latin, and the kids actually find it quite fun to start speaking Latin when their parents have no idea what they're saying. So that is also another focus for us for K all the way through 9. I can tell you that our upper school has the hardest time transitioning to Latin, but it is something that they have finally gotten used to, and I think they're really starting to like it because I'm hearing it at home and I have no idea what they're saying. So, and then the other piece is from potential to practice. So we realize that all of our students on all levels, with all abilities and all being exceptional students, have potential, and we just want to really push them to their highest bar of practice. And so those are the 3 areas of academic excellence that we are focusing on through interventions, through our Latin program, through our basic curriculum. And then excellence of character. So again, we have our 5 virtues, and we incorporate that in pretty much everything that we do, from our house programs, through our classes, when our students are presenting in debate or in speech, or even just presenting their book in a book report, they talk about the virtues that it took to actually complete that report. So the valor, the responsibility, and so forth. And then again, I've heard through the STEAM program, they are also obviously working as responsibilities in a global community. And we're focusing on our efforts right now as well to be responsible citizens in our community. So we are working with nonprofits and how can we integrate our students into volunteering efforts with our nonprofits. Our upper school works with our youngers in tutoring and just that vertical integration, but also what can they do outside of the school to make an impact. So those are our big focuses for this year.
I started to type our focus areas, elementary, middle school, high school, and I was like, oh, they're all the same almost. So we found that we have 3 focus areas that we're really leaning into. One of them is rigor. So we know we have to raise that bar. We have to have higher expectations for students. And what we're finding, in the high school found it, at first they complained, but then they rose up. And so we have to, so all you parents out there, when they complain, just toughen up. So they rose up to those expectations. So we have to hold those expectations high, even when it's uncomfortable, and they'll rise up, and then the celebrations are far more impactful. We also found that we have to have targeted interventions. We went after helping kids all over the place last year, and I don't know that we were as focused as we needed to be. So we have purchased evidence-based programs that say, you need this skill, here's an evidence-based program, we're gonna work with you for 6 weeks, we're gonna get that skill in place, and then we're gonna get you back at the grade level. So we have interventions going across all of our buildings that look like it's similar that, high school has power lunch, we have SDL time at the middle school. We have title and intervention at the elementaries, as well as some focus time that they've built in. So every school has built in time where we are working with students where they're at to bring them to the next level. So to fill those holes, to finish that learning, to get them up where they need to be, and then to take off. And then finally, we have what we call our habits of success. So if you want to look this up, it's from Turnaround for Children, Building Blocks for Learning. So it's a framework that was developed that looks at the development of skills in children and what they need to be successful in school and beyond. And it's basically the skills and mindsets that research shows are strongly correlated to predict academic achievement. And so there is a progression of skills that we expect in the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. And if you'd like, we can come back and give more information, or I can send that out. But some examples of those skills at the little guys, it looks like self-regulation. I have to be able to regulate myself to be a good learner. As they move up, we talk about things like growth mindset. So the fact that I can do this. So I'm not born not to do this. I can do it. I just need to put my mind to it. It's not a fixed mindset that we often hear, I can't do math. That's a fixed mindset. It's like, no, anyone can do math. You need to develop a growth mindset that if you work hard, you can do that. Resilience kind of ties to that. And then as we get to the high school level, we're talking about academic tenacity. So that ability to really go after the academics as they become complex, curiosity, and purpose. And so there are more elements to the building blocks, but this is an example of what those look like. And so we're working to build those habits within our students. So we're purposely teaching those, talking about those, using this language so that they develop those habits to be successful and to increase academic achievements. So this is the part where you can ask us some questions. Or you can say, that was so amazing. You don't have any questions?
That was so amazing.
I think it's a lot of great news. I mean, it's a lot of growth in a lot of areas. So, and I'm curious about the change in the math program to Eureka versus what was being done before, and what you're looking forward to with that.
Yeah, we're already seeing, I don't know if I have elementary that want to speak to that, but what we're seeing is that students are developing some of that grit and sticking to, exposing that mathematical thinking. So instead of our students sitting, sometimes math, I was a math teacher, sometimes we get up and say, do this, do this, do this, do it, you didn't do it again. And we don't always expose why they're doing it wrong. And so this kind of exposes, like, you went down that road. Why did you go down that road? So that we can bring you back and take you down the right road. And so it's really helping kids understand the why behind math, but also developing, Gwen talked about that, the fluency, because there are still things that I got to be able to do like this. So I can't have a conversation about 2 + 3. I got to just know that. Multiplication facts, as they get to middle school, some of those algebra manipulations. So the Eureka math has been shown, and we also adopted a new diagnostic testing called iReady that's going to allow us to monitor that more frequently so that we can see, are our kids growing mathematically, and we can adjust and be more nimble and not wait for the state test to tell us at the end of the year.
And you said the Gateway's using the Summit Learning platform. Is that just for math or for the English, reading, the evidence-based reading and writing?
Yeah, last year was in 4th and 5th grade that they used that for all 4 cores. So that was kind of the program they've used for quite a few years here. This year, because they had, due to some of their numbers, they had to do 3-4 combos. So they only have that program in 5th grade this year.
Okay. So what are the youngers using instead?
So they use the Into Reading, which is used across the district, and they use Eureka Math, which is across the district. TCI is our social studies, and then we have science kits for our science curriculum.
And in middle school and high school, are they using Summit all the way through?
They are for 6th through 10th grade.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And after 10th grade, we move into more of a Google Classroom and a different look at the learning, because we find that our kids are going multiple pathways. We have AP, we have classes, we just have a lot of different classes there.
Okay. And Gwen, Merit has not changed any sort of curriculum since last year, right?
He likes what we're doing. We're gonna
Okay.
give it a try.
Stick with the baseline.
That's right.
How many years is it that you kind of need to watch a curriculum to see whether you feel like it's achieving the right results? Is it 3?
3 years of data points minimum.
Because at first you're going to dip. So first implementation curves show that when you get a new curriculum, and that at first students will dip, and then because you're learning a new system.
Mhm.
And so at first they'll dip and then they'll grow. And that's true too for kids that move, right? We see that when kids move to new schools, at first they dip down. It's a new curriculum for them. It's a new system. And then hopefully they start growing.
Yeah, I was looking online on the CDE website and I noticed from previous years to now, it seemed like our kids were they're participating in all the testing way more. And I know, I think it was like 88% from prior, now we're up in the 90s, 95. So it was interesting to hear that we only got 94 because everything I was seeing was just great online compared to previous years.
We typically haven't had troubles with participation. During the pandemic, the whole state dropped.
Is that why I was?
Yeah,
seeing
you saw, so you probably saw the pandemic testing,
Probably.
which was, actually, we were higher than a lot. Some schools were what, 50, 40%, like,
I saw really low scores
Yeah.
across the state. And so
Yeah.
we were up even prior to that.
Mhm.
So it was just, it's just good to see even during the transitional time, during 2020, during 2021, we were still testing. There's something on there, but you can tell how much work, we're here now and how much our kids, our students, the district, the plan that you guys had to get our kids into the school. I think all of that is a big part.
yeah, we had success testing kids, and a lot of our remote kids came in, or they could test remotely. A lot of schools had the option not to test remote kids, but we were like, no, we want to know if they're learning.
No, it was good. And I mean, but I'm glad you guys used the 2019 models because I think
Yes.
that's the best way to compare apples to. Yeah.
So, Tina, when my second grader says, I can't do it, that's the fixed growth? That's just a fixed mindset? Is that how you find it?
Stubborn kid, I don't know. And
'Cause I can't
usually-
do math, I can't
Yeah,
do
what I
math.
respond is, what can't you do? You can't read the problem, or I don't know how to do this. What do you not know